I'd like to call the October 6, 2020 board meeting to order. This meeting of the Sugar Grove Village Board will be held as outlined in Public Act 101-0640, which waives the Open Meetings Act requirement that a physical quorum of elected officials be present to hold a public meeting in the event of a public health disaster declaration and the determination by the village president. Governor Pritzker issued a statewide disaster declaration on September 18, 2020, and in response, Patrick Sean Michaels, President P. Sean Michaels, determined that an in-person meeting is not practical or prudent at this time. So again, thank you all for being here. Heidi, if you would, please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Heidi. Roll call, please, Allison.
Trustee Conan?
Here.
Trustee Lundy?
Here.
Trustee Walter?
Here.
Trustee Heron?
Here.
Trustee Moto?
Here.
Trustee Cook? President Michaels?
Here. Okay, we have a quorum. We have no public hearings, no appointments or presentations. I do have a resident present tonight to make a public comment. It's not on an item scheduled, but instead of making him wait the entire board meeting, I will give him the opportunity to speak. Please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Michaels. Like you said, it's not necessary to say the name, but it is Blair Peters. I've been on Brookhaven Circle and Mallet Point. And while I know the action on the landscape material and firewood business was the last meeting, I am here to express my disappointment in that decision. In my mind, there is a tremendous hypocrisy by the village. In the past, the village has turned down the yards, the warehouses at 88 and Route 47, all for traffic issues that would have impacted major state arterials and not a local rural road as well as a neighborhood. I will concede that the water park probably would have impacted that neighborhood pretty much, but it's always turned down by previous boards for those traffic worries. And now suddenly a road that has skateboarders, walkers, joggers, bicyclists, and school buses especially is going to now have 18-wheel semis as well as various types of dump trucks and landscape trucks going on it. The last meeting, one board member commented that the county would have done or could have done much worse by maintaining control of this property. We can do better to make sure that they follow the rules. I have spent personally years watching variances come through the county, and the county does things that are maybe a little smarter than the way we approach it here in the village. They follow their 2040 CMAP plan. They follow their zoning requirements for the zoning for the different spaces. And they usually listen very carefully to the local board member and what his feelings or her feelings are and the resident feedback that they have gotten. In this case, somebody on this board lives in the neighborhood, was against this proposal, and you ignored his views on it. The Prairie and 47 intersection is well known to be a problem. The slider signage that says no left turn from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. That morning period will be the time landscape trucks are wanting to make the turn. Add a blind curve that has accidents and issues. There have been citations and warnings. Now, I ran out of time to get the exact comparables, but the police department said there were 373 citations since that sign has been put in, and on top of that, 293 warnings. That is from September of 2018 to September of 2020. Now, I will concede they were not the same that out and say that they were illegal left turns.
30
or
seconds.
Just other violations. The fine is $164 and residents don't seem to care. Do you think a landscape company is going to care? On top of that, once people realize they're going to not be able to make a turn there, they're going to cut through my neighborhood, bringing semis, landscaping trucks through my neighborhood. I spoke last week with Mr. Michaels, I ran into him, and he said the village is not going to do signage unless there is a problem.
Thank you.
Mr. Michaels, I'm going to request a little extension of time since
We're
my
staying.
comments from last week were not formally read into the record.
I'm sorry.
From the last
You can
board
submit
meeting were not, I did submit them. You can check with Allison. She apologized for not reading those comments into the record.
We'll amend the minutes to include those. Thank you.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah.
I was able to talk to Mr. Peters for, I don't know, we probably talked for 20 minutes last week, so I can fill the board in maybe a little bit more. If anybody has any questions, I talked to him quite a bit, and I think I know a lot of what his concerns were, and if there's anybody else that has any further questions on maybe what his concerns were, I'd be happy to talk to him.
Okay. Okay. Allison, is there any other public comments or any attendees online? Okay.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I was trying to, there are 3 attendees, Lisa Glennon, Julia W., and Ms. Gossett. Ms. Gossett is the public comment that I discussed with you earlier that we were going to read at the end, but we can read it now if you want to.
Please.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Nikki Gossett. I have recently filled out a special use application to open a small pet grooming shop at 50B Cross Street here in town. I have another grooming shop in Woodridge that I've been running for over 10 years, and I am very excited to hopefully be able to open one here in our town. I thought it would be nice to give our residents somewhere close to bring their pets to be groomed if they wish. I just wanted to introduce myself and say hi tonight. I look forward to our next meeting. Thanks for your time. And she is on the line. I'll unmute her if she wanted to say anything. Nikki, if you wanted to add any comments, you can unmute yourself and share them.
Oh, hold on one second, please. My wife just walked away. Hold on one second.
Oh.
You want to say anything to the village? Or they just read your comment?
Oh.
Just,
Hi.
I don't know if they can see.
Can you see me?
I don't think they can see.
Oh, hi, it's Nikki. Thank you for your time. You can't really hear.
They're not saying none. They just asked if you wanted to say anything. That's why I went crazy real quick.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
All right, Nikki, thank you. We look forward to hearing from staff on this recommendation, but thank you for your submittal for the request.
Thank you. I appreciate everything that you guys are doing, and we look forward to opening up a business in Sugar Grove.
Great. Okay, thank you.
We did have, we just had one more, Jeff. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name, but if he wanted to talk, he could raise his hand.
Okay. Jeff, we're in the public comment period. If you have any interest in addressing the board, if you would raise your hand on the screen for Allison, we could unmute you. Going once?
I guess he's listening.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. All right. Close that portion. May I get a motion to approve the consent agenda? Under the consent agenda, we have approval of the minutes, approval of the vouchers, proclamation, for National Planning Month, ordinance for TIF redevelopment agreement, ordinance declaring surplus property, resolution authorizing the purchase of public works replacement vehicles, a resolution authorizing an intergovernmental agreement with Kane County for CARES funding, subject to attorney review. Can I get a motion to approve that consent agenda?
I'll make that motion. That's subject to attorney review.
Just the last item, Rick.
Okay.
I'll second.
Second. Any request to remove an item from the consent agenda? Last call for a request to remove an item from consent agenda. Hearing none.
Sean, did you want to amend the September 15th minutes for Mr. Peters' comments? They were included in July when they were sent, and they were also read in the public hearing of the Plan Commission, but I can amend the minutes to put them back in at this time too.
Please do, and would you please notify Mr. Peters that we are doing so. Rick, would you amend your first, please?
I will.
I'll amend my second. Yep.
Okay. With all that said and transpired, any requests to remove an item? Okay. Roll call, please, Allison.
Trustee Montalto?
Aye.
Trustee Heron?
Aye.
Trustee Lundy?
Aye.
Trustee Walter?
Aye.
Trustee Conan?
Aye.
Trustee Cook is absent.
Okay. The motion carries. Okay. Should we get a motion to table item 8A, amending the new home permit fee?
John, sorry to interrupt, but I believe this is the one that we had the discussion on tabling versus postponing, and I think Laura recommended to actually postpone it. In this case, I think we were talking about postponing it indefinitely.
Okay. Okay. I won't even call that. We won't even take a motion. Next item, opening of bids for Hannaford Farm Park.
You want to do a motion on it.
I'm sorry.
You still would want to do a motion to postpone indefinitely.
Oh, we do. Okay. I apologize. May I get a motion to?
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. All right. Roll call, please.
Trustee Montalto?
Aye.
Trustee Heron?
Aye.
Trustee Conan?
Aye.
Trustee Lundy?
Aye.
Trustee Walter?
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries. May I get I guess it's more comment, Brent, opening of bids for Hannaford Farm Park. Is there any action to be taken?
Yeah, first, Allison actually has to open we did receive one bid, and she does need to open it at this point in time as part of the meeting.
Do you want me to read it? Do I need to read it, Laura?
Yes.
Okay. So it is a proposal for the sale of Hannaford Farm Park site from the Hannaford Farm Homeowners Association to Village Clerk. The Hannaford Farm Homeowners Association would like to bid on the following park site: Parcel I and Parcel F in Hannaford Farm Subdivision Unit 2, being a subdivision of part of the south half of Section 4, Township 38 North, Range 7, east of the 3rd Principal Meridian, according to the plat thereof recorded April 9th, 2007, as document number 27KO38156 in Kane County, Illinois. We would like to submit a bid of $10. Respectfully, Hannaford Farm HOA.
Okay.
Laura, is that all you needed for that one?
Correct. Yeah, that's just the bid opening portion. And then if the board wishes to act in awarding the bid this evening, that would be the next item.
Okay. We have an ordinance before us, ordinance award of bid authorizing sale of Hannaford Farm, subject to attorney review.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Conan,
Aye.
Trustee Heron,
Aye.
Trustee Walter,
Aye.
Trustee Lundy,
Aye.
Trustee Montalto.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. A resolution authorizing the IT-tip application for Blackberry Creek pedestrian bike bridge.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay. This is a grant that we would apply for the 80-20 for the construction of a bridge. Any questions? Okay. Roll call, please.
Sorry, I have a quick question.
Uh-huh.
In reading that, are we to infer that there is a cost that from village staff that I don't know what that dollar amount looks like as being the grant application, as the ones that are leading the grant application that is going, let's say that right now we're saying that it's going to be split 4 ways. It's going to be $50,000 a piece. What is our true cost through utilizing staff to draft that? I'm just curious.
Tony, go ahead.
I don't.
Or Brian.
Oh.
Whomever.
If your question is there a cost to submit the grant application, then the answer is no. If that's not the right question or question, then I guess I didn't catch it.
No, my question is really being the lead, because it seems like that's really the position we're in at this point. What is the cost? How many staff hours are we spending? And are we going to be asking when this comes back around on the quarter split, if you will, that the other entities would be then paying for our time to be the lead on this?
If I may, so to apply for the grant, there's really no staff time. Engineering Enterprises is doing that as part of their services, and they donate that service. Then if the grant is awarded, then we would go back to the 3 other entities and talk about how to split staff time and different entity time.
That was my question. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Okay. Roll call, please.
Trustee Montalto,
Aye.
Trustee Heron,
Aye.
Trustee Lundy,
Aye.
Trustee Conan,
Aye.
Trustee Walter.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Halloween recommendations. I think the script notes are people are welcome to host trick-or-treating at their house. They can use the universal sign of having the front porch lights on if they'd like trick-or-treaters to come between the hours of 3 to 7. Turn off the porch lights if they don't. I know there's a number of entities like the newspapers and subscriptions like that are having posters that people can put out, like a green one for trick-or-treaters or a red one if they do not want it. But I believe that was the recommendation of staff, is that we don't really have an ordinance, but make those recommendations.
Can we discuss it just for a second? I was wondering, we normally do 3 to 7 because of, Monday through Friday, kids are in school type thing. This year being on a Saturday, is there any kickback to changing the hours and going like 1 to 5 or something so that the kids are out during the daylight and it's a little bit warmer in the sun than it would be at night from like 5 to 7?
Rick, what I've noticed is that usually it's not till almost 4 o'clock that the trick-or-treaters get going. And you're right, it's usually they're coming home from school, but I think having later hours might be better, and it is still daylight out because that night is when we turn back the clocks.
Okay, well, it is getting darker earlier. It's
it's right at 7
right now, and it's 6:20. So we're still a few weeks away. So I just thought I'd throw it out there, being as it's a Saturday, see if anybody wanted to start a little earlier, end a little earlier. You know.
I think it's hard as a child.
I don't have many trick-or-treaters. Ryan, Sean, Jen, you guys, and Heidi, you guys might have.
I usually get a ton. Like I have to buy $60 worth of candy, kind of thing.
Really?
Yeah.
The only thing I would say, and I mentioned this to Brent when I spoke to him on Monday, and not that anyone's going to listen by any stretch, but what I'm going to do with my own kids, and I would recommend to families, is try to make your bubble, your sphere, a little bit tighter and smaller. I know that my kids would want to get with their friends and go to so-and-so's neighborhood and a lot of that. But if you can visit less houses in the process, that would be great. No one's probably going to listen to that, but that would just be my recommendation. But the kids like a little bit of darkness. We all did that. I can't imagine taking that away.
Well, then we need some type of verbal agreement that we're not going to have any like candy corn or hard candies. We're going to have the good stuff, right?
You're right.
Like Reese's peanut butter cups.
I already got
mine. Do we anticipate having the patrol cars out playing the scary music?
I already have requests in from the officers desiring to do that again. So based on the decision tonight, they'll be, they're anticipating, your response. But we will be out and about, and the week beforehand, we'll also be assisting with partnering with the park district and trick or treating in the parks.
Do you know the details of that? Can you elaborate at all? I forgot about that.
It's, I believe, 4 or 5. I'm gonna have to pull it up. 4 or 5 parks. But it has, people need to register. It's limited in a number, I think, to 50, registrants to participate at each of the locations. And then I'm assuming that they'll have to move to the next location if they did into the one that they wanted. But it looks like the park district, the fire department, the police department, and a couple other village entities will be participating in it.
Okay, good.
Chief, when would you like us to start bringing in candy for you?
The officers will accept candy 365 days a year.
Well, I mean, for the giveaway.
No, we'll be happy to take it off your hands whenever you like us to. We'll have a place to store it.
Okay.
But thank you for thinking of us, because this typically is something that some of the officers do this out of their own pocket just to give back.
Mm.
Do we need to post on our village site, if it's not there already, I'm not sure if it is or not, the IDPH recommendations for trick-or-treating?
So following this discussion, there will be a post that has links to those, and we also will have links to PDFs of signs that people could put in their sign if they do want to participate, or if they would like to pass, and they will see you next year.
Can we have a link? 'Cause I know they were talking about the park district as well. I know I got something from them with some of the alternative things to do.
I have been waiting for them to put this particular activity on their website or their Facebook page, and I haven't seen it yet. I did see what came out from the chamber today, but right. I wanted to link to something they had written, so I've just been kind of waiting. But once it pops up, I will.
Awesome. Thank you.
Any other comments on this item? Okay, thank you, everyone. I hope it's safe. Let's see. Next is zoning amendment event venue. Walter? Oh, can you try it again?
I forgot what I said.
No.
No. We're proposing an amendment to add event venue as a special use in the E1 district in anticipation of the application for the Rosewood event venue on Prairie Street, in the near future. The amendment is general in nature, and the purpose of it is to just provide the opportunity for Rosewood to make their application. I expect that we'll have many conditions and restrictions placed on Rosewood once we have their formal application and know more about what they're proposing to do on the property. But the purpose of this amendment is just to provide the door for them to open to walk through and make an application.
Okay, and this did get approved at the Plan Commission level?
Yeah, the Plan Commission actually discussed it in depth, and many of the things, or I should say areas of concern that the Plan Commission raised, and some of them are identified in their recommendation, are legitimate concerns, but I think those are things that need to be addressed on a case-by-case basis, because not every event venue is going to be operated the same or have the same facilities. And so my recommendation to the Plan Commission was not to get too detailed with this amendment. We can deal with the details, as it were, with a specific application, because then we know more about what they're doing and the size and scope of the operation and things like that. And we can better craft conditions and restrictions at that time for specific uses.
Okay. Any questions for Walter? Okay. All right. I guess this will come back before the board. Thank you. Raffle licenses. This is talking about amending the raffle code to have King County take over the license, and seems to make sense. Any questions or comments for staff?
Can you hear me?
Sure.
Okay, I'm back. My computer shut down, so I'm on the phone now.
Oh, okay.
Not sure what happened here, but the computer made a fuzzy noise and went black. So I'm on the phone.
Okay. We didn't have any discussion on the event venue. Rick, I don't know if you had any comments. You heard?
You already had the discussion or none?
Yes, we did. There was really no board level comments. It was just a brief presentation by Walter saying that we're approving this venue to be an A1 and that more details will come back with the application.
Okay. Well, I guess I would make comments on it only due to the fact that we've already put one retail business there, and my concerns with the other one is obviously it'll add traffic on weekends. If they're using it for weddings, you'll get a few hundred cars up and down Prairie on top of the other stuff. And my concern is that if we do authorize it, which I'm not against the option, I just think that they should be held to what we would normally hold a normal business to, paved driveways, parking lots, handicap spots, inside toilets. I'm not in favor of the tent, the circus tent option being there forever. I think it should be a brick and mortar building, but that's pretty much it.
Okay. Okay. All right. And then moving on to raffle licenses. Was there any discussion, or should we direct staff to bring back the ordinance to take this to the next level? Hearing no comments, we'll follow staff's recommendation. Next item is elected official compensation. The recommendation is that the village board president and trustees compensation be fixed at $15,500 and $600 for liquor commissioner to the president, and setting the salary for trustees at $5,000 effective May 1st, 2023. So it would not go in effect next year, but 2 years from now. Okay. Any comments? Okay. Hearing none, we'll bring that back. Okay. If you have a printed agenda, next is item 10 that's on the back. Staff reports. Any questions for staff? I had one for Tony and Brad. I think it's great that we're painting the fire hydrants. I think we're on maybe a 5-year schedule, that every 5 years we go back, and it could be longer. Is that necessary to do it every 5 years, or with the quality of paint and the condition of the fire hydrants, can we push that back a year or two? It's more just observation.
Brad, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sean, the advantage is to keep up with them. It's less cost, or it's more cost effective if you stay ahead of the program and keep the corrosion down. If they start to get rusty, it's more labor intensive, and then the price goes up. We can look into spreading it out longer, but being that they're red, the UV rays tend to fade them pink, and it's also really advantageous to us to keep, we service those hydrants every time before we paint them, so it keeps our hydrants in, top operating condition.
No, and that's, again, I look for your input. They just keep improving the quality of the paint, and they don't seem to turn as pink as they used to, but I do realize operating them and going out and checking them is a good thing. So just an observation, and I value your input. What type of schedule are we on, Brad? Is it every 5 years, or is it longer?
We usually try and do like a 5-year schedule and then wait 5 years in between, so they're at least 5 years apart. And obviously, as the system grows, we've added some since we started that program, so it takes us a few more years to get through it all. So we try and do 250 a year.
Okay. Okay. And then, did anybody else have any questions for Brad or Tony?
Brad, this is Rick. I was just wondering, we had a conversation earlier in the summer when they were doing the streets that you were going to start trimming trees this fall in Mallard Point. And I'm wondering, is that still in scheduled, or what's the timeline on that?
Yes, it's still in the schedule. We're trying to finish up our concrete and paving as the weather's been good. And we tend to roll into that in the next 2 weeks. We have to finish up Walnut Woods, and then I'm hoping to be in your subdivision around the 1st of November.
Okay. All right.
And then another question I had is more for Walter. I was talking to a resident, and he has a sprinkler system, lawn sprinkler system, and he was somewhat griping that he has to have somebody come out and do an inspection each year. And he found out that Yorkville uses BPI, and they charge $15 a house, and they handle the paperwork for the state of Illinois. Is that something we could look into to maybe work a contract out with BPI to pass on the costs or savings to our residents?
Well, I believe the inspection he's referring to is because the RPZ valve for the lawn sprinkler system is outside, not inside the building.
Oh.
So he could avoid it by relocating the RPZ, but that there's issues with that too. It's not simply just relocating it.
Okay. Do you know how many people have to get inspections a year? If there's and you might not know now, but it might be something to look into it. I know BP or outside contractor can charge $100, $150 to do an inspection, and if we can reduce that cost to $15, it might be something to help the residents with.
Well, the contractor that the village uses notified a large number of people this year, and one of the results of that is many people elected to relocate their RPZ if they could. So we ended up eliminating a lot of them.
Oh, good.
I'm sorry. What are you truly eliminating though? Because if they relocated it into their property.
I mean the need for the annual inspection.
But that's the annual plumbing
Physical inspection of the RPZ valve in the yard.
Right, but you still have to do the backflow. Is that what you're referring to, Sean?
Yes.
The backflow test?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is required whether it's located inside or outside. I mean, if it has to be done with it if it's inside. Correct?
That is correct, but the issue is with the ones that are located outside, they have to be removed. Then every year they have to be replaced by a licensed plumber, and that requires another inspection, and that's what many of the homeowners have objected to, and they've elected to relocate their outside RPZs to put them inside.
So is the resident, Sean, that was talking to you talking about a $15 backflow test?
Yes.
So from what I understand, it's roughly people are paying $65 for their backflow test and filing of paperwork. Not regardless of whether their RPZ is outside, because that would be subject to a separate plumbing inspection.
Right.
So if there is a way that Sean is saying we can do and save people a lot of money, it costs them a lot before they even put a drop of water on their lawn in Sugar Grove.
I guess, and I don't know, Sean, is the person you talked to, are they saying that the total cost for the, quote, tracking and paperwork and the inspection itself is $15?
From Yorkville, yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll have to reach out to Yorkville to see if that's actually what Yorkville's paying for an outside service to do the inspection, because that would sound at least incredibly cheap, quite honestly. Right. I wonder if that's really just the tracking, quote, paperwork side of it, and maybe they're absorbing the cost of the inspection, within the city. I don't know that that's the case, but, I think that's something we have to find out. Is that $15 all inclusive, or are they just essentially, the users of the entire system are supporting those inspections? I don't know the answer.
And that's why I'm bringing it up, because it sounds like economies of scale might.
Yep, we'll reach out to Yorkville and get an understanding of what they're doing, and if it's a cost saver and works, we'll certainly look to implement it here.
And with winter time coming up, hopefully it's a time to take on a project like this and notify the residents that we can make it affordable for them. Any other questions for staff? Okay, hearing none. Trustee reports. Heidi?
Nothing. Well, I'm working with Walter a little bit with some solar information to help look at some updating maybe some of our solar regulations.
Oh, good. Thank you, Heidi. Rick?
No, I don't have anything other than I'm not sure if the others on our computers have seen it yet, but Mr. Peters, who was speaking earlier tonight, I'll basically make a comment on what he's emailed us already, is that he's basically what he didn't get to say during his 3 minutes. He's looking that we do something proactively instead of waiting till there's a problem with, trucks and stuff maybe going through the neighborhood. He's asking that we put signage or something up ahead of time before it becomes a problem instead of waiting till there's damage or injury or a problem begins. I'm not saying I'm in favor or against it. I'm just reiterating what he's submitted to us.
Okay. Thanks, Rick.
All right.
Anything else? Okay. Ryan?
Nothing. Thank you.
Okay. Sean?
I think in addition to Rick, what Rick said, Mr. Peters it's happened. He disagreed with it. And his big thing now is to make sure that we are responsible for if any of that stuff starts to happen, that's really what he wants, is to make sure that we are responsible. Like Rick said, proactive, put up signs if we can put up signs to keep trucks out. But just mostly he wants to make sure that should something start to happen, the village nips it in the bud as soon as possible. Or does whatever we can do to be proactive.
Right. I think the resident safety is paramount, so yeah. I think we'll do that.
Okay.
Anything else, Sean?
That's all I had.
Okay. All right, Jen?
I just wanted to add, I've been having discussions with Brent on my Monday calls, and sometimes we get brainstorming. And one of the things that we had been talking about, it seems like for several months, is the concept idea of trying to find a gathering place for residents that is not just doing like the Groovin' in the Grove concerts, but a place that, and the thing that we keep talking about that keeps coming up is the Veterans Park over there on Main. The idea of still utilizing the park and having the park part of the park, but also adding to it. And so I'm basically saying to all of you, is this something we can bring back for discussion? Because I think, Sean, we've talked about it as well. In Batavia, they have those little pop-up shops that they put in their downtown area. And if there's a way for us to have something like that and incorporate Food Truck Friday and people can gather in a place, it might help also revitalize the downtown area. You've got to start somewhere. It seems like that's a good place because it's village owned. Not trying to kick out Veterans Park or change it, just kind of, maybe make it smaller. I don't know that it's truly utilized right now, and a lot of people are going there. But, still have it Veterans Park, but add to it. So food for thought. Hoping that the board wants to discuss it further and try to create some retail space and a place where people can gather.
Yeah, some of the initial questions are restroom facilities and electricity, if it needs to be done, lighting and parking in the area. That's been the nice thing about having Groovin' in the Grove by Village Hall, the library, and fire district is we have a lot of those amenities already in place. But I think anything that can help bring people to the community is a good thing.
I always picture some sort of somewhat of a stage / gazebo thing, like they have at Peyton's Roundhouse, the Roundhouse, or whoever owns it now. Two brothers. But, a lot of those concerts they've got there, that's a multi-use sort of thing. So the bands play on it, they have weddings on it, all sorts of stuff. So something like that, either there or somewhere else. I think that's a great idea.
Sean, there is already the gazebo at the community house where you'd have the restroom facilities and parking. So that's an option as well. Okay. Anything else, Ken?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. President's report. We had a good discussion with a person that owns some commercial property late last week, and they're just getting some feelers for how the property could be developed. But it seems like there's a lot of interest in commercial property at this time, so it's a good thing. Hopefully we can get some diversified tax base here at the village. Okay, other than that, any public comment? Anybody left to make a public comment?
Yes, there are 2 attendees. So if the people who are still on, if anyone wants to make a comment, you can use the raise your hand feature.
We have Julie or Lisa, if either of you would like to speak. Going once, going twice. Okay, we close that portion of the agenda. Airport report, Joe is not here. And we do need to go to closed session. So if I may, can I get a motion to adjourn closed session for exception of the Open Meetings Act to discuss litigation, not take action, and adjourn from closed session?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second by Trustee Herron. Roll call, please, Allison.
Trustee Montalto?
Aye.
Trustee Herron?
Aye.
Trustee Conan?
Aye.
Trustee Walter?
Aye.
Trustee Lundy?
Aye.
Okay, motion is approved. The resolution is approved, so we'll reconvene in 2 minutes on closed session. Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Thank you.